This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I'd like to open the July 15th Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. Please rise and join me in saying the pledge. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. This is a new way of doing our meetings. Hopefully it's the last one, but so if you're not speaking, we ask that you mute your phone or mute your microphone until it's your time. So I'm going to do a roll call to make sure everybody's here. When we will open up each meeting, during each meeting, we'll ask if somebody from the public wishes to be heard. At that point, please unmute yourself and state your name for the record. Everybody will be sworn in, and we make decisions immediately after each application. So with that, is Haran here?
Yes, that is me. I'm here.
What's your first name?
William.
Thank you. 323 Blauvelt, is it road?
Yes. Joe Scarmato appearing for Rosemary Amabil, the property owner.
Okay, thank you. Goldrick?
Yes, I'm here.
And your first name, please?
James.
Thank you. Sheehan?
Christopher Sheehan is here.
Thank you. Roost?
Maria Santini's here.
Okay. And Rogers?
You have to unmute yourself.
Rogers, yeah, are you there? Do I see Rogers?
He's waving.
I can't see anybody, so you got to be my eyes, Debbie. All right, so Rogers, you're not until later. Somebody else had technical difficulties. If you want to try to correct those, you could either dial in, maybe close the application, try to log in again. If not, please call in on the phone. There's a phone number out there too. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Who's that? That's not him, is it?
Why?
All right, that doesn't feel like. Is that Rogers speaking? No, the kids in the
Can't
background?
hear you.
Okay. All right, so Rogers, if you call in, here's there's instructions here online. If you want to take a screenshot of that, please call in. Lomond?
Keith Lomond here.
Sorry, is it Keith or Pete?
Keith, Keith.
Great, thank you.
Meghan as well.
Meghan, okay, thank you. All right, I make a motion to open Haran. Can I get a second? Patricia, second. All in favor? Dan Sullivan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great. Debbie?
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate and several letters of correspondence. The first is dated June 23rd, 2020 from Rockland County Department of Planning. They approve since the proposed variances will have no adverse impact on any countywide interests. This matter is remanded to local determination. Signed, Douglas J. Schutz, Acting Commissioner of Planning. Second letter is dated July 2nd, 2020 from Rockland County Center for Environmental Health. She states, our records indicate there is a septic system on the property, but I have a new letter dated July 13th, 2020, also from Elizabeth Mello, Rockland County Center for Environmental Health. In response to our letter dated 7/6/20, it has been confirmed by the Town of Orangetown Department of Environmental Management and Engineering that the above referenced property is connected to public sewer. Our outstanding comment is as follows. Should the board require a stormwater management system to remediate the increase in impervious surface, application is to be made to RCDOH for review of the system for compliance with the county mosquito code. signed Elizabeth Mello, PE, Senior Public Health Engineer. A letter dated July 7th, 2020 from the Rockland County Sewer District Number 1. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1 does not object to the plan as described. Very truly yours, Joseph LaFiandra, Engineer 2. And a no future correspondence memo from the Rockland County Highway Department from Dion Residiam, and two letters from abutting property owners. I have discussed with William Horan his proposal for a 15 by 26 oval-shaped pool and his request to the zoning board to reduce the setback requirement from 20 feet to 10 feet. I have no objections to the project or to Mr. Horan's request for the variance. Signed, Kevin T. Farrell. He lives at 20 Robin Street, Pearl River. And the same letter, but signed by Dennis and Dorothy Scherer, 599 Orangeburg Road, Pearl River. And that's it for correspondence.
Okay, thanks, Debbie.
You're welcome.
This is ZBA number 20-44, application of William and Eileen Horan for variances from zoning code chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown Code, R15 district group M, section 3.12, columns 9, side yard 20 feet required, 10 feet proposed, and from section 5.227, pool must be 20 feet from rear yard, 10 feet proposed for an above ground pool at an existing single family residence. The premises are located at 619 Orangeburg Road, Pearl River, New York, and is identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 69.18, block 1, lot 86 in the R15 zoning district. William, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Great. All right, can you tell us about your project?
I think it's pretty simple. I'm just applying to have an above-ground pool entered into my rear yard. If you're looking at my site plan, it might be a little confusing. I believe, according to the terminology that you guys use, I have what's known as a flag property. And what that means is that my house does not face the road. If you know the area of Orangeburg Road, the starting place, my house is set back behind another house that does face the road. So while I have a decent sized lot, it's really configured in a little bit of an unusual way. Regardless, I want to set the pool in, if you're using Orangeburg Road as the front of the property, I want to set it back in what would be the rear left corner of the property. It abuts two of my neighbors, Dennis Scherer and Dennis Farrell, both of whom have entered letters into the record indicating they have no objection to the project. There were a couple of things brought up regarding the sewer or the septic issue. I think those have been resolved satisfactorily, so hopefully I'm good to go.
Okay, great. How long have you lived at the residence? Sorry, Mr. Rand, how long have you lived at the residence?
Oh, I apologize. I'm at this address for 8 years.
Okay, thanks. Are there other pools in the area?
My neighbors to the rear, the Farrells, like I said, who have entered a letter of no objection, they have a pool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anywhere else on your property that you could place the pool that would not have you have a 10-foot setback?
No, and the reason I'm applying for the variance is if I were to comply with the 20-foot rule, it would just be, I guess, sort of egregiously close to the house. It just wouldn't work. If I have to comply with the 20-foot rule, it's just not going to work.
How close would it be to the house if it was 20 feet? I mean, I don't see a place on the set in the drawing here. I'm looking.
It's probably about 25 feet.
Oh, here it is. So it's just basically the property's flat, right? So I know the property.
Yeah, it's pretty flat. Yep.
It seems like you have a substantial amount of room that you could move it closer to the house and still be within 20 feet. You can't go by the drawing here, really.
Well,
But have you looked at any other, moving in any way, shape or form closer to the house? So say it's 15 feet on both sides or something of that nature, and not just say, no, I can't do it, or?
I sure have. You know, I have 4 kids. I'm trying to do everything I can to get them a pool and give them something to do in the summer. I've looked at every angle of the property, and the corner of the property that we're requesting really is the only place where it's going to work. I do not want to. You know, I believe you guys, or according to town terminology, the side of the house that faces Orangeburg Road is considered the front of the house, but really the front of the house is facing east and facing my neighbor. So any other corner, any other place on the property, my neighbor who's opposite me is really going to be able to see it, which probably wouldn't be fair to him either. So yeah, we've looked at every other configuration possible. I mean, look, this is not a simple process to go through this. If there was any other way to do this, I certainly would be doing it that way.
And if you were to bring it closer to the house, it would probably lose some line of sight from windows in this area of the house, right?
Well, just
I'm
that
assuming-
that little rectangle that you just highlighted, actually
Yeah.
just to the right, you've highlighted now my deck, but just to the right of that where your cursor is, I have a patio there. Yeah, right there, that area right there. And if I move that pool any closer, it's going to be right on top of that patio, and it's going to be aesthetically and practically not workable really for us.
Yeah, so it's just looking at the aerial of your property. So it really is almost a backyard over here, right?
That's
Treat that as your
exactly.
backyard.
The area you're highlighting with your cursor there is exactly the area we've identified, yeah.
Are there any further questions from the board?
I don't have any.
Okay, does anybody from the public wish to be heard? If you do, please unmute your phone or microphone at this time and state your name. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? And a final call. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? If there's no further questions from the board, I'll make a motion to close.
Second?
Second by Mike. All in favor, Dan Sullivan, aye. Mike,
Aye.
Patricia,
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great, thanks. Denise, you want to do secret?
Okay, based upon the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to secret regulations 617.5C 11, 12, 16, and or 17. If you have no questions or comments, a board member can adopt my legal opinion as motion.
I so move.
Second?
Second by Patricia, all in favor. Dan Sullivan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great, I make a motion to approve the application for William and Eileen Horan. The pool really is in their backyard, considering it's a flag lot. I think there's a lot of space between all the other houses in that area of the yard. And I think probably the best place he could put his pool.
Second?
Second by Mike. All in favor? Dan, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great. All right. Thank you, Mr. Horan. That's been approved. You don't have to stick around, but you can call Debbie in the morning to find out the next steps.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I will leave the meeting.
All right, have a good luck. Have a good night. Good luck.
Good.
All right, make a motion to open 323 Blauvelt Road.
Second?
Second by Patricia. All in favor? Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Okay, Debbie?
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate and a memorandum from our Rockland County Department of Planning stating that this application is not in their jurisdiction. A letter dated July 7th, 2020 from the Rockland County Sewer District, who does not object to the plan as shown, signed Joseph LaFiandra, Engineer 2, and a sign off from Rockland County Highway Department and Rockland County Health Department. And that's it for letters.
Okay, great. Rob?
Yes, ZBA number 20-45, application of 323 Blauvelt Road for a variance for zoning code chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown Code, R15 district, section 3.12, group M, column 10. Total side yard, 50 feet required, 39.3 existing to a ramp, and 43.9 to an existing deck at an existing single-family residence. The premises are located at 323 Blauvelt Road, Corver, New York, and are identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 69.09, block 5, lot 73 in the R15 zoning district. Okay, so
All right. Sorry, I forgot to swear in. Mr. Scarmato, do you sort of tell
Yes.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Great. Sorry about that, Rob.
no problem. How are you tonight? Just tell us a little bit about the application.
Yes. So I'm representing Rosemary Amabil. She is the owner of the property since 1986. They bought a home that was built in the 1950s as it exists today, with the exception of this ramp on the side of the house. The house was pre-existing non-conforming with respect to these two requested variances, and it's being brought up at this time because they're selling the house. There were some issues related to the certificate of occupancy, and during that investigation, it was determined that there was the side yard violation. So the architect of record on the job is a Barbara Hess. She's handling some of the interior issues with the building department, and we are going to address the two requested variances of total side yard and minimum side yard. You can see from the survey that's provided here, the building itself, as it was originally built, was 13 feet from the, I guess we could call it the right side. I don't have an arrow for north-south, but already within what was the minimum of 20 on the right side. On the left side, there was adequate space, but the total was less than 50. Subsequent to moving in 86, my client, who is a widow, her husband built this deck and this ramp system to get up to the deck. She was unaware at the time that this would have been an issue. She only discovered it now that the house has gone into contract, title search has been done, and various other searches have been done to turn this out. So at this point, it would be a hardship for her to address this. There's no physical way to undo the pre-existing condition of the building where it was originally built prior to the ordinance. There's no apparent detriment to the neighborhood or the community. Her neighbors are, I don't know if any of them responded in writing, but they were notified, and they don't seem to have an issue with the existing condition. It would be a hardship for her not to obtain the variance at this point. She is moving from the area, and the contracts have been signed. A buyer is already in place. Closing is being held pending this approval. So In the spirit of the ordinance, we're asking for the variance to be approved, and I'll take any questions that you might have.
How long has she lived in the house? How long has it been like this? Actually, how long has the ramp been there?
Since about the mid-'80s. Shortly after they moved in, they put the deck and they put the ramp, and they've lived there happily for 26 years. 24 years, actually, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions from the board? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is there an 8-foot side yard?
That's the 96 square foot shed. I don't think that really counts as a side yard because it should be movable.
Right, and the other notations that you see on the plan in that area are garden beds that are ringed with railroad ties. I guess you could consider them "quote unquote" structures if you take a very strict interpretation of the code. However, the main issue that was cited, I think, by the building inspector was the fact that this what was a pre-existing nonconformity was changed by the installation of and it was exacerbated by the installation of the ramp system. It further penetrated into the nonconformity, and that's why we're requesting the variance.
The railroad ties don't stick up that far though, right? I mean, I saw that.
No, they're
No,
basically keep the soil in for plantings.
Right. Okay. It's not like they're a wall. It's not a wall.
No, it's definitely not a wall.
Right, you know.
All right, any further questions from the board? If there's none, I'll ask the public if they wish to be heard. If you do, please unmute yourself. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody from?
I'd like to ask one question.
Sure, state your name, please.
Joseph Rooney.
All right, Mr. Rooney, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
I'm just curious if the current residents that are living there now are the people that purchased the home.
From what I understand, they are there under a pre-closing occupancy agreement. Their particular home had sold. They had to vacate. This situation we would hope to have gotten it onto the calendar sooner and had made the closing. Was made necessary by the fact that we couldn't get on an earlier calendar. We're here now in July. The closing was to have happened a month ago, and the prospective purchasers had nowhere else to live. Council, I don't represent them in the real estate matter, but it was determined by council for both parties that they'd be willing to have a pre-closing occupancy, and that's what they have right now. And yes, they will be the new owners when they close. Yes.
Sounded like a long yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a full disclosure. Let's put it that way.
The answer is they're the new owners. Okay.
All right, great. Does anybody else wish to be heard from the public? If you do, unmute your phone. Does anybody else from the public wish to be heard? Anybody from the public wish to be heard? Hearing none, I'll make no other questions from the board. Make a motion to close.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Dan? Aye. Mike?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Rob? Aye. Billy?
Aye.
Great. All right, Denise.
Okay, based upon the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from an environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to secret regulation 617.5C 11, 12, 16, and or 17. If you have no questions or comments, a board member can adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Dan? Aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Great. Rob, you wish to make a motion on this?
Sure. I propose that we grant the applicant the variance for 323 Belleville Road. I don't see, any undesirable change. It's, it's already there for the neighborhood and no adverse effect on the environment. So I say we approve the application.
Second,
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Dan, aye. Billy?
Aye.
And Mike?
Aye.
Great. All right. Mr. Scarmato, thank you very much. Have a good evening. It's been approved and you called Debbie in the morning.
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right. Good night. All right. Make a motion to open Goldrick.
second,
Second by Mike. All in favor? Dan, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
All right. Debbie?
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate and no other correspondence.
Great. Mr. James Goldrick, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. All right. Patricia, you want to carry on?
ZBA 20-46, application of James and Dara Goldrick for a variance from zoning code, chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown Code, chapter 43, R40 District, Group E, section 3.12, column 11, rear yard 50 feet required, 23.4 feet existing to a shed at an existing single-family residence. The premises are located at 12 Private Levitt Court, Belleville, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 69.12, block 1, lot 7.2 in the R40 zoning district. Could you tell us what it is that brings you here this evening?
So I built a shed actually had a shed delivered. I shouldn't say I built it. I built the actual footing, the surface for the shed to sit on, gravel surface with railroad ties going around it so that it would sit properly and levelly on the property. In that area where it sits and the area in front of it, it slopes towards the back, towards the reservoir. Little bit difficult to see that on the map. But I can show you photos, like aerial photos if you wish. So it just happens to be a spot in the property that aesthetically the shed would look good with the garden that I have on the property and a small, fire pit that I have there as well. But it actually, if you see where the pool is located, there's a large sloping hill. So that was, the most convenient spot to actually put the shed. And it was far enough from my side neighbors, that's for sure, that it wouldn't be, in their view as much. So.
And you have the reservoir behind you, reservoir property?
Yes.
And how long have you been in the home?
20 years.
And how long have you had the shed?
I would say at least 10 years.
Yeah, why is it coming up now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, well, I'm moving. I'm moving.
Okay.
I have the house
Selling
up
the
for-
house, is that it?
Yeah, I'm selling the house and I'm putting it up and didn't even realize it. My father-in-law, who was actually alive at the time, and he was a building inspector, he told me I needed 20 feet, which was, so, and as it turned out, in R40, it's actually 50 feet. But 50 feet from that back fence would put me on a hill, actually. So it never would have worked.
Right. And there's really nothing behind you, right?
No.
I have no other questions, Dan.
Great. Does anybody else? Anybody from the public wish to be heard? If you do, please unmute your phone. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Hearing none, I make a motion to close.
Second.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Gilly?
Aye.
Great. Denise? Secra?
All right, based upon the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the aforementioned application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to Secret Regulation 617.5C 11, 12, 16, and or 17. If you have no questions or comments, a board member may adopt by legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Dan, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Gilly?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
And Patricia, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the application variances requested by James and Dara Goldrick for the 23.4 rear yard for their shed, which has been in place for 10 years. It really does not make an undesirable change to the neighborhood. Not very substantial. That won't affect the environment. And I really don't feel that actually it was not almost not self-created because of the slope in their property. There's no place they could put it on the property.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Dan, aye. Billy?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Great. Have a good evening, Mr. Goldrick, and it's been approved. You can call Debbie in the morning and find out the next steps.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You got it. Good luck with everything.
Good night.
Make a motion to open Sheehan.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Great. Debbie?
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate.
All right. Chris Sheehan, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Who do we got? Billy.
Okay, this is ZBA number 20-47. It's application of Christopher Sheehan for a variance from the zoning code, Town of Orangetown, Chapter 43, Section 5.227, 20-foot rear yard required for swimming pool for the installation of an above-ground pool at an existing single-family residence. Premises are located at 19 Staubitz Avenue in Pearl River, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as Section 69.10, Block 1, Lot 50 in the R15 zoning district. So, Mr. Sheehan, can you tell us a little bit about the project?
Yes, good evening. Thanks for your time and consideration. Yeah, I obviously there's a lot of different things going on, but the project itself is a small above ground pool. If you look at the print of yes, thank you very much for that. You can see that I have a large elevation in my backyard. It's a narrow piece of property, and it's really, if you can see the elevations going up where the cursor is at. It goes up as you go to the left, correct. Thank you. I think we're up about 20 feet from the original property itself. It's really the only place that I can put the pool itself where it wouldn't be directly on top of the house.
So what's in your rear yard? Is there a fence separating your rear yard from your neighbor behind you?
Yes, sir.
How tall is it? What kind of fence is it?
I think it's a 6 foot, PVC fence.
Okay.
Excuse me. I have an affidavit from that neighbor and both neighbors adjacent to me, also stating that they didn't have an issue with it.
Okay, and that neighbor behind you also has a pool somewhat within 20 feet, say, of the property line as well. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
But just looking at that survey there, was any possibility of putting that pool before you hit those like behind the house in that immediate vicinity in the flat area?
I would have no area then to walk.
Right.
If you look to the left of where we're viewing right now in that box, thank you. The lowest elevation, I mean, if I put it's only a small pool as well. It's a 15-foot round pool. If I put the pool there, I would have nowhere to walk, entertain. My dog would have nowhere to, go out. There'd be no room to play for my children.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? This is not the right site plan. There's an adjusted site plan that was added on.
That's correct, yes.
That shows the addition on the back of this house. It would have been an add-on as of yesterday.
Yes, there's a shed. There's a shed back there, Debbie, thank you.
Not just the shed, your addition shows.
There's an actual addition in the rear of the in the rear of the house.
Yesterday, didn't
If you Google map it, you'll see.
I thought
Okay.
I just thought it was up online. That's why I took everything off.
It is online. It should be under a backup.
Miss it.
It's probably not attached to this. It's a separate. I added it as a backup.
I don't know, Debbie. I don't believe you.
I'll vouch for her. She's been excellent through this whole process, and I actually did go down and visit and sign off on it as well.
And I had Kristen check it yesterday, so I know it's there.
No, I saw the link in the. I saw the link in the email. I saw the link in the email. I just didn't see it online.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just the prior zoning board decision from,
Yeah, there is no attachment there.
no
It's just-
other attachment.
Oh,
You
then
look at
I'm
Google Maps
gonna
though,
have
you'll
to talk
see-
to that kid.
Hold on. No. I got it. He just didn't classify it under the this meeting. I think. Hold on. Because there was another one. No, that's the decision.
Just the decisions there.
There should be a separate one.
It actually says Sheen updated plan, but it's not the Sheen updated plan.
Sorry about that. But anyway, that's why you can't put the pool closer to the house. There's a big addition in the back.
I actually see
Thank
it
you,
with
Jim.
Google Maps. I do see it back there.
Yeah, if you pull it up, there's an L shape, and then so there's actually no backyard whatsoever if I was to put the pool there.
All right, now you're telling me to do things.
Not really.
All right. Some nice landscaping too.
It took me about 5 years of punishment there. Thank you.
So Dan, I'm good. I have no further questions.
Okay, thanks, Billy. Anybody else from the board? Any further questions? Hearing none, sorry. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? You do, please unmute your phone, state your name. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? All right, hearing none, if there's no further questions from the board, make a motion to close.
Second.
Second by, was that Rob or Billy?
Rob.
Second by Rob. All in favor, Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Thank you. Denise, secret.
Okay. Based upon the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to secret regulation 617.5 C 11, 12, 16, and or 17. If you have no questions or comments, you can adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
So move.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Dan, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Great. Billy, you want to make a motion on this?
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the application of Christopher Sheehan for the variance from the 20-foot rear yard setback requirement It's a somewhat substantial, but I don't believe it'll have an adverse impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the area. The neighbor to the rear has a similarly situated pool. Won't result in an undesirable change in the neighborhood, and the difficulty isn't self-created. He's got a tough terrain there. Doesn't have much room for a pool. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Billy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
And Rob?
Aye.
Great. All right. Have a good night, Chris, and good luck with everything.
Thank you to the board for their time and consideration, and thank you very much, Debbie, for all of your help. Everybody stay healthy and safe.
Great. Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
Good day.
All right. Make a motion to open Roost.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Aye. Rob?
Aye.
Great. Debbie?
I have notarized affidavit.
Hold on a sec, Debbie. Somebody's I gotta mute somebody. All right, go ahead, Debbie.
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate and one email that came in this afternoon. It is from a Patricia Corney. I don't have her address, but she has, at tonight's meeting, I would like to address the following. 1, food odors coming from the garbage. 2, noise from exhaust fans and bottle recycling. And 3, parking on New Street. And that's it for correspondence.
Okay, great. Sorry, Maria Santini, is that right?
Unmuted.
Maria,
Can you
are
hear
you
me?
there? You actually, it sounds like we're getting an echo from you. You either your phone or your laptop,
I'm on my laptop.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So that must be somebody else getting feedback. Hold on, let me start muting some people. No, I think it's coming from your machine. Give another.
Should I just undo? There's no noise in here.
Yeah,
Can you
no, it's
still-
definitely echoing on your end.
Oh. How can I, what can I do?
I don't know.
Sorry. Do you want me to call in instead?
Would you mind calling in and we'll just hear the next case? If you could,
Sure.
and if you could mute your laptop and then call in,
Okay, all right.
and then we'll move on to the next one.
Is that
Actually,
better
we'll
or
wait
no?
for you. I think so. Yeah, that is better. Yeah, you did something. Can you hear us? Hello, Maria?
She left. That's why it's better.
Oh, okay.
Is it better? I'm gone,
That is
right?
better. Well,
Is it better
no,
now?
no, we still hear.
Okay, so I'm just gonna mute and make a phone call. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
I just gotta find the phone.
Okay.
Unmuted.
All right, we'll just give her a second to call in. All right, there's a new caller.
Okay, Can you hear?
There you are. Oh, that sounds so much better. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. So, Maria Santini, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thanks. Mike, do you want to take that?
ZBA number 28-48, application of Roost at 2 Union for variance from zoning code chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown code, chapter 43, CS district group FF section 3.12, column 11, rear yard, 252.3, be granted in ZBA number 19-91, 9 inches proposed for a walk-in cooler at an existing restaurant. The restaurant is located at 2 Union Street, Spark Hill, New York, as identified on the Orangetown tax map, in section 77.08, block 5, lot 16, in the R15 zoning district. Maria, could you just give us a update on what changed in the last approval?
Yeah, so, okay. I'm sorry, I can hear myself now, but during construction, we realized that the access to the walk-in, the door from the kitchen to the walk-in, due to the grading, it was best to locate it at the back of the building rather than the side of the building. And because of that, now the location of the walk-in, we moved it back, and we're proposing to move it back, reducing the rear yard setback that was originally approved from 2.3, 2 feet, 3 inches to 9 inches.
Hold on.
We also, yeah.
So 200, I think that's a typo, 252.3 feet?
Yeah, I think it is.
It
That's
is
not right, right, Doug?
No,
Okay.
2 feet, 3 inches. It's
2
not
feet. Oh, it's 2 feet, 3 inches?
correct.
Gosh.
So we originally got approved 15 foot from the property line to the face of the walk-in. We'll be proposing that as 11 feet instead of 15.
Yeah, it was on the bulk table, it was 2 feet, 3 inches.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I'm just confused by this altogether. Actually, Maria, if you mute your speaker or your microphone on your laptop, you'll get rid of that echo.
If I what?
Mute the laptop.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Is that, oh, much better.
Yeah,
My God.
that's
Thank
it.
you.
You got it.
That's simple.
Been doing this a lot lately.
All right. So let's just start and go all over again. So
So
originally
now
the door.
It is 2.3 feet, and now you want 9 inches. And where am I finding that on this map? Why am I missing this?
Okay, so it's right here, and this is where the 9 inches. It was used to be from this little corner of the building to this angle property line.
Wait, you
It was
gotta
before.
you have to explain where you're pointing because we can't see you.
Dan,
Oh.
Debbie uploaded a highlighted picture of this plan on the website. There's a little
there you go.
highlight. You'll see the 9, it's sideways, it's horizontal. If you want to zoom in on that, you'll be able to see.
Oh, that's not the best.
Can you unmute Debbie, Dan?
Oh yeah.
It's right here. The 9 inches is right here.
I can explain it
This
to you.
corner.
Go ahead, Debbie.
The solid line that's going diagonally, it's not straight, between the macadam line and up, that's their property line. The macadam lot behind them belongs to the property that used to be the bank. Then nobody's in there now. But because the property line is slanted, where they moved the walk-in fridge, there's only 9 inches between the back corner of that fridge and that property line. That's where they need the variance.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks, Deb.
So the cooler was moved from the back right corner, I guess, closer to the middle, which made it from 2.3 to 9 inches.
Yes.
I got it. Got it.
I know you can see where I'm pointing, that the door now is located not where the condensing units are of the air conditioning there, but it's now located right in front of the walk-in. That's why the walk-in had to be moved back a little bit.
Okay.
So there's a door right to the right of that walk-in cooler?
That's correct.
Right.
A 3-foot door.
I see it boxed out in the drawing, slightly boxed out. I assume that's the door. Yeah. Is that it? Dan, did you just do that? Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
Did you highlight that?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Maria, that's where the door is?
That's where the door is, correct.
In the blue highlighted area? Okay, perfect.
Correct.
I really don't have any other questions, Dan.
No, nor do I. Anybody else from the board? Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? If you do, please unmute your phone.
Hi, yes, I'm unmuted. I'm from 6 New Street.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Can you guys hear? My name is Alexandra Carney.
Alexandra Carney, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Could you
Go
give
ahead.
us your address, please?
My address is 6 New Street.
Good,
I
Debbie?
apologize. I have a 2-year-old. If you go, it's him.
Okay, go ahead, Alexandra.
Also on the same device?
Alexandra, are you still there? Would you like to go?
Yep. Can you hear me? I also have my husband with me. We're on the same device. Does it matter? Does he have to be sworn in as well?
Yes, he does. What's his full name?
Brian Carney.
Brian Carney, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Great. Okay, go ahead. Just one at a time, please.
I'm also here. I'm on Patricia Carney. I sent the email in.
Okay, Patricia Carney, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So we'll just go in order. Alexandra, Brian, then Patricia. Sorry.
Do they all live at the same address, Dan?
No, I live at 2 New Street.
Okay. Alexandra, would you like to speak?
Yep. So standing on my property, I could actually see into the roof back lot. Currently, there's a pod there, so I'm interested to know if I will have visible views into this now refrigerator that they're requesting. I'm concerned that it's going to increase garbage. Right now, currently, I'm smelling a significant amount of garbage. I understand that we can't change the way smells move, but I can see actively that there's 2 doors in the back. That's, I guess, I'm assuming it's the kitchen. And I would assume that the refrigerator is going to go in front of one of those doors. From the view that I'm seeing on the screen right now, it looks like that there's a pod there. And I would like to know, is that where the refrigerator is going? Because currently I'm concerned about an increase in rodents and people being actively moving in the back of my property, because before it was a bank and it was closed at night. So when I sit in my lawn, I didn't see anything. And now I'm seeing constant movement. And at 9:30, I'm hearing, glass breaking from, I guess, I'm assuming you guys are disposing of your recyclables. So I'm just slightly concerned that this refrigerator is just going to cause a lot more movement in the back.
So let me answer. So the refrigerator is going to be between the building and the existing fence, not where the pot is. The pot is actually going away. The pod is housing the refrigerator, which was installed as per the where we're proposing now, and we had to take it down. So because it was not by, we needed approval to place it where it was. So the refrigerator is in between the building and the existing fence with very little visual from your side, not in the side where the pod is. And again, the pod will be removed once the refrigerator is erected. And actually it was there for about a month, and we had to take it down to get the CO, and then submitted a new application for the approval of the new location. And again, it's a refrigerator, so you don't see the movement because it's behind or you don't see as much movement because it's behind the fence. And also the refrigerator would not bring any rotten, any animals into the locked refrigerator. To address the recycling issue, we actually have changed that. We do understand that the bottles make noise. So going forward, we are proposing that we can have the bottles recycle early in the morning. We will bring them into the recycling bin in the morning rather than late at night.
Okay, Brian Carney, would you like to be heard?
Yes, I'd like to speak now. It's Brian Carney for the record. Yeah, I'm opposed to this refrigerator. I'm opposed to this restaurant. I don't want to see this restaurant. I don't want to hear from the restaurant. I can only imagine what the plans are to expand in the near future. I have a very quiet backyard that was backed up to the bank for the most part. The bank is no longer open. And we would like to keep our neighborhood quiet in the evening.
Okay, this was originally approved for 2.5 feet. She's moving it down to basically 1 foot. And it sounds like it's out of necessity to get access out of the building. I mean, it seems
Okay,
like
I have a question. I have a question about the noise of this refrigerator that's going to be placed in that location, because I'm already hearing exhaust fans and movement in the rear of the location. How loud is this refrigerator going to be once it's installed?
Actually, may I ask, the refrigerator, there's no noise to it. I mean, this is not running with a compressor, nothing like that. It's electrical, no noise really. And in terms of the noise that you hear, maybe the recycles, I understand, and we will address that by all means.
Well, I also hear exhaust fans off of the rear of the location.
Now, unfortunately, the exhaust fans, we have to run them by code. There's not something that I cannot do in order.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately.
I understand that you need this equipment to continue running your business, but I have been dealing with months of this pod, this eyesore of a portable pod sitting in the rear of the building, which I visibly see from my bedroom, from my deck, from my backyard.
It's already stated that's going to move.
Yeah, that's going to be removed.
That's going to be moved as soon as they get, if they were to get approval, which they already had for the 2'3". Now it's just a little closer to the 9 inches to the left. So, and how long has this been a restaurant, Marie?
Not very
well,
long.
we opened the restaurant. No, we opened the restaurant about 5 to 6 weeks ago. We actually moved from 623 Main Street and Sparkill, which is right. So we moved to the Union Arts Center.
Got it.
We'll be being in construction. I mean, this project has been in approval, trying to get approvals from last year, and we were granted the approval in early January or just at the end of December, and we moved forward with it. We didn't do a lot of renovation, but the first floor just to fit it out for, with a kitchen for restaurant. It's always served as a, not on everyday basis, but it has served as a, as a facility for food, for entertainment and others.
Okay, Patricia Carney, would you like to say anything?
This is
Yes.
Brian. I'm not finished.
Oh, he's not finished.
All right,
Okay.
so, we usually don't put we usually put a time constraint when we're in a meeting. I didn't do that. So yeah, if you have any further questions, we try to prevent dialogue, otherwise we can be here all night.
I have one last question. I would just have a question about how opposed would the owners be to providing some sort of compensation towards a privacy fence?
On your property?
On either their property or our property.
I mean, there is an existing fence in our property. There's a wood fence that conceals actually
Going to replace the location
walk-in.
of this pod. Then I
Well, the pod is moving away.
Refrigerator.
Refrigerator will be on the other side of the fence. The pod will go away.
Mm-hmm. You will just be looking at the fence once we, move the pod away.
How far down does the fence go towards this macadam lot? Oh, it's right
it
here,
goes
right?
all across. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, in essence, the refrigerator is concealed by the fence. Once again, it's not going to be in the lot itself. It's inside the property line, inside
on the side.
How tall is
The
this
pod
refrigerator?
right now is sitting on the lot. That's why he has view of the pod, which will be removed as soon as we can. Mm-hmm.
Can you go into slight details of the dimensions of this refrigerator?
Yeah, it's a 9x10. I'm sorry, an 8x10.
And what is the height?
I mean, it's 7 foot, 7'8" or 7. Hold on one second. It's a 7, an 8x10 basically, and it's 7 foot 6 inches high. I mean, actually, the refrigerator was there for like about 2 months. I'm surprised I never saw it before. Sorry?
Is that a fact or is that just an estimation? Because I'm the one that
No,
has
that
to
is
look
the
at
fact.
this.
I'm just reading it from the specs that are in the books. It's 7 foot 9 inches by 9 foot 9 inches by 7 foot 6 inches high. And again, it was there. You probably didn't see it because it was there for about 2 months before we had to take it down. When the inspector realized that it was encroaching, on the property line, so we needed a variance for that.
So
And we moved it
she's
forward
actually,
now.
what she's requesting is to hide it behind the fence more. That's why she's here
Right,
for this variance
exactly.
for 9 inches. So I think
Mhm.
it's in, since the 2.3 is already approved, 2 foot 3 inches, sorry, is already 2.3 feet is already approved. This is going to conceal it more behind that fence.
Correct.
And is this your fence, Maria?
Is a fence that was, it was in here when we took over the building. It was in existence. And it was erected by the property owner.
Okay. All right, Patricia Carney, would you like to be heard on this?
Yes. My first concern was the odors that are coming from the restaurant. The restaurant at this point is operating probably at 50% capacity, and I believe it's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and when I walk by on the sidewalk in front of the restaurant, there's an extremely strong odor of garbage. Coming all the way down to my house, which is on New Street, there is also a strong odor coming from the restaurant of decomposing fish, basically. I'm concerned about when the restaurant is operating at 100% capacity, that the odors will increase and that the amount of garbage, is that going to be remediated at all by the refrigerator? Is that going to help decrease that in any way by storing some of it in the refrigerator, which is probably wrong in the first place, but somehow keeping the odor from coming all the way down practically to William Street? My other concern was the noise levels of the recycling of the bottles, which you've addressed already, the noise level of the exhaust fans, which need to run, as we understand, but is there any way to dampen the sound of the noise, to put some sort of quieting mechanism on them? And my third message in the email that I sent was regarding the parking. I've noticed an increased number of cars parking on New Street, and New Street is an extremely narrow road. There's no way that cars parking there, and sometimes on both sides of the road, that any kind of emergency vehicle like a fire truck could ever pass down the street if necessary. So that's part of my concern as well.
Well, in terms of the parking, I mean, we address that we have a giant sign in front of the building telling them that the parking is at the depot. I mean, I unfortunately have no control where people park, but we encourage all our customers, especially when they make reservations, when they ask the question, just to go to the depot. That's where we were at 623. That's where the parking lot was and continue to be the parking lot for us. As a matter of fact, we have made agreements with the church just also to have 25 spots, which we are renting from them. And at some point, that will also minimize the parking. So I hope of, people looking for parking. The depot is completely empty right now, especially with no commuters or very little commuters going to the city. So we encourage them to use it, and we'll even do a little more, put more effort into making understand our customers where to park. That's all I can.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Promise
Yes.
that we will try. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the odor, I just wanted to address that briefly. When we first moved here, we were doing takeout only. So we, for the last 3 months, have reduced the frequency of the pickup of the garbage to, it was just to once a week. We since have increased it, and we feel ourselves and the immediate neighbor who had brought it to our attention, that he just texted me today and told me that it's much better. We increased the frequency to twice. Should the volume increase, we'll increase the frequency also of the garbage disposal to minimize the odor, especially in the summertime, which we understand with the heat, it just aggravates things. So that's what we want to be considerate to the neighbors. Trust us, we don't enjoy that smell ourselves. So we continually bleach. Now bleaching is they provide us with some bleach to do that, and we will do it more frequently. That's our commitment to improving conditions. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the noise?
The noise
of the exhaust fans?
Yeah,
I can look into.
Yeah, I mean, if you can reduce it, great. There are town codes about how much noise can be emitted from buildings and at what times of day. So that can be taken up with the code enforcer if you're finding it, difficult to be around.
All right. Is there a code as far as when recycling of the bottles should be taking place?
Well, that addresses the noise as well. But she also she addressed that. I think she said they're going to do that in the morning instead of in the evening, right?
Right, right.
Yes, yes. I mean, I understand that unfortunately, they don't allow us to recycle in the plastic bags, which really minimize the noise because we just dispose the plastic bag nicely. We just have to just dump it on top of the other existing glass, which makes the noise. But we will, going forward, I will address that with the bartenders and just the recycling. Everything gets put until the morning, and we'll dispose of that at that time. We don't open the restaurant until 1 o'clock. So in the morning, there's nobody here. So at 1 o'clock, we will just dispose of that.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody else from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody else from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody else from the public wish to be heard on this? All right, back to the board. Mike, do you have any questions, issues?
No.
Okay. Any other board members? Any questions? All right, hearing none, I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Second by Rob. All in favor? Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Okay, Denise Secra?
Okay. Based on the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, since this application seeks area or bulk variances for construction or expansion of a primary, accessory, or pertinent non-residential structure or facility involving less than 4,000 square feet of gross floor area and not involving a change in zoning or use variance and consistent with local land use controls. This application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to Secret Regulation 617.5C9 and/or 16. If you have no questions or comments, a board member can adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor? Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Great. Mike, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I can make a motion to approve the application of Rooster 2 Union for variance, to move the cooler from 2 feet 3 inches to the left over on the drawing to 9 inches to the property line, which will further hide it behind the fence. And that's it.
Thank you guys for your time.
Hold on.
Appreciate it.
We're still voting. Sorry.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second by
Sorry.
Patricia. Mike, just one thing. Would you like to make a? It's already seconded by Patricia, but would you like to consider putting in some type of a, I don't know, stipulation that she maintain the fence to the?
Well, you asked,
I don't know if we can.
you asked if it was there, right? And it went from along the whole property line?
It is.
She said
It isn't.
is.
I don't know if that's her property. Right, Denise, what would you make of this if we wanted to put in some type of stipulation to make sure that there's a barrier here?
Oh, it's showing the wood fence. We were told there was a fence there before on the prior application.
Right.
But that's not her property.
If you go by the angled property line now, right, and someone else comes in and take from the other property, he takes the fence out, can take the fence out.
Well, we don't know whose fence it is.
Right.
So would you maybe Mike keep the
Could
stipulation
be
that
this building's fence and they've been adversely possessing something for I don't know how long. I don't know. But she says the prior owner of this building put the fence there. That's what Maria had said earlier. Right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
Mike,
We need to maintain the
fence.
property. Let's just say that we need to maintain the fence as it is today. Whether it's on where it is, if it gets taken down, it needs to be put back on the property line. by Roost.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to make that stipulation, Debbie? Debbie, Debbie, do you understand that?
I got it, yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Patricia, would you like to further second that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. All in favor, Mike?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Dan? Aye. Billy?
Aye.
And Rob?
Aye.
Great. All right, Maria, good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night, folks.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay. Make a motion to open Rogers.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor, Dan? Aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Great. Debbie?
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate. And just so you know, you have revised plans that were added on.
Sure we do.
You better.
I do have revised, it says revised plans. These are them, right? There you go. Cool. All right. That's me. Application number ZBA number 20-49, application of Richard and Michelle Rogers for variances from zoning code chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown code. R15 district, section 3.12, group M, columns 9, side yard 20 feet required, 9 feet 8 inches previously approved, 14 feet 9 inches proposed, and 10 total side yard, 50 feet required, 34 feet 8 inches previously approved, 41 feet 3 inches proposed for an amendment to a previously approved plan, ZBA number 19-59, dated June 19, 2019, for an addition to an existing single-family residence premises located at 50 Carrot Drive, Pearl River, New York, and are identified in the Orangetown tax map at section 69.06, block 2, lot 13, in the R15 zoning district. Okay, and who do we have from Rogers?
Good evening.
Hi.
Richard Michelle here.
Sorry, I heard Michelle and the other name?
Richard.
Richard and Michelle Rogers, right?
Yes,
Good. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. All right. Would you like to tell us about your project?
Their architect is also there.
Oh, sorry. Who did I miss?
Unmute yourself.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Louise
Who's
Mal,
that?
architect for the, Louise Mal?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, good. Okay, architect
All right.
for the Rogers project.
All right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. All right. Would you like to tell us about your project?
Yes. So we bought our house as a newly married couple 15 years ago. We've since had 3 children. It's a 3-bedroom house. The main level of the house is quite small. We just wanted to make our house larger. We are a little challenged by the slope in both the back and on the side. And Louise worked really diligently with us to try to give us a good renovation and a good fix. We currently have a carport and we really want a garage. I drive a minivan, so we needed something that would fit our minivan and just give us some room to be able to have the kids' bikes. And we wanted another bedroom for our child. Currently, our boys are sharing a room. So that's the reason for our project.
May I speak?
Yes, please.
Also, the revision to the proposed side yard is a budgetary concern. We're actually making we're asking for less of a variance. And because of time constraints, and this has been on the board for a long time, this project, we wanted to ask you to look at these tonight, the smaller proposed side yard. The plan from the original variance in last year at this time has become much smaller, and we respectfully ask you to take a look at it and hopefully approve it.
Okay, thanks. Now, I'm just trying to find these numbers. Am I missing these? See,
On the first
14.9.
sheet?
The publication was based on the larger plan. This is the smaller plan.
Oh, I see. I
Oh,
But
understand.
now
so
you're asking for less.
is existing what was approved, and is that what existing is?
No,
Oh,
what
so
was
this-
approved, sorry, what was approved has not been built yet. We, after receiving the budgets for what we had initially been approved for, we've revised
Sticker
the
shock.
budget downward. And yeah, sticker shock, exactly. So now we're bringing it a little bit more down to reality.
All right, so it's 17 feet. Is that 11? Sorry, where am I? 11 and a half inches.
Mhm. Originally approved for 9 foot 8 inches.
All right, so let's say 17 feet, 11 inches on the side. Total side yard is 44 and a half.
14.9.
I think that's 17 feet, 11 and a half.
Yeah, inches.
Yes. And none of this affects the easement, right? That's on the southerly side over there?
No, the easement is shown in the dashed line.
That one, yeah. And nothing's going to the other one on the east.
No.
Okay.
So why am I missing the 24.7 existing side yard? Oh, that's on one side. But how do you get to the total side yard of 44 feet, 5.5 inches? Because I see 25 feet on one side and I see 17 feet, 11.5 inches on the other. That's 42 and a half inches. Sorry, 42 feet, 11.5 inches.
Is that a
right?
mistake in my addition?
Okay.
That's a mistake in my addition.
Okay.
Maybe because we've been through this so much, we keep bringing it down and down. Maybe apologies. Maybe I made a mistake in my addition.
All right. I'm gonna say. So what I'm gonna say is, I mean,
25. Sorry.
11 and a half inches. I'm just gonna make that 17 feet, 11 inches. I mean, what happens if you need like
Sorry.
a garden
25
hose
is the
on-
required side yards, 26.6 on the other side.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Tatiana.
that's.
So
thank you.
26 plus the 18
Gotcha.
is 44, right?
Yes, 44, 5.5. All right. All right, so it's 44 feet, 5 total. And 17 feet, 11 inches. I mean, 11 and a half. I don't, we're not doing that.
So, sorry.
No, you're very precise, but.
It's a computer. Sorry.
No, well, you know, we've had people come back and if they wanted brick face, they had to come back to get a 4-inch or whatever, not even a 4-inch, a half an inch change to what we've given them, you know.
Uh-oh.
All right. I don't have any further questions. Anybody else from the board have any further questions?
Nope.
All right. So Debbie, I have 17 feet, 11 inches to that side and 44 feet, 5 inches total side yard.
Got it.
Cool. All right. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Please unmute your phone if you do. Anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor, Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Thanks. Denise? Secra?
Okay, based on the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Pursuant to secret regulation 617.5 C 11, 12, 16, and or 17, if you have no questions or comments, a board member may adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor? Dan, aye. Patricia,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Billy,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Okay, make a motion that we approve the application for the Rogers. It's less of a variance than they previously requested, with the modification of the side yard. That is the, on the, hold on, what side is that? Just trying to get my bearings. Is that the west side?
Should be
South side, okay. Oh, there it is, south side. So 17 feet, 11 inches on the south side yard and 44 feet, 5 inches for a total side yard. The housing has been proven previously that it's in keeping with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor, Dan, aye. Mike?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great. Thanks, guys. And Rogers, have a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good
Night.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, make a motion to open Lomond.
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor, Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Great. Debbie?
I have several letters of correspondence. The first dated, I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure first. And then I have several letters of correspondence. The first dated June 23rd, 2020, from the Rockland County Department of Planning. They approve, since the proposed variance will have no adverse impacts on any countywide interest, this matter is remanded for local determination. Signed, Douglas J. Schutz, Acting Commissioner of Planning. Second letter is July 6, 2020, from the Rockland County Health Center for Environmental Health. Should the board require a stormwater management system to remediate the increase in impervious surface, application is to be made to the RCDOH for review of the system for compliance with the county mosquito code. Signed, Elizabeth Mello, PE, Senior Public Health Engineer. A letter dated July 7th, 2020, from the Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, and they do not object to the plan as shown. Signed, Joseph LaFiandra, Engineer 2. A sign off with no comments at this time from Dion Residuham, Rockland County Highway Department. And I have a letter dated July 8th, 2020. Dear Zoning Board, on May 22nd, 2020, we were told by the town that the Cabana being constructed at 4 Paul Court by Keith Lomond was not permitted and a stop work order had been placed. For the most part, work stopped until June 18th, 2020. Since that date, work has resumed on the non-permitted structure every weekday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The stop work order was ignored, and at this point, the project is close to completion. The structure was built, the gas line was put in, all without a permit. In addition to ignoring stop work orders, Mr. Lomond also built the structure in violation of town code by building it only 10.4 feet away from his home, when Chapter 43, Section 5.153 of the town code requires a 15-foot setback to the primary structure. We believe the large and unpermitted cabana structure will adversely affect our home by devaluing it. The structure is very large. The back of it faces us, effectively bringing their building line much closer to ours. We can see from our patio over our 6-foot fence. The unpermitted structure can also be seen from both the first and second story windows of our home facing that direction. We object to any variance that would bring this structure closer to our property line than it already is. We suggest a compromise whereby foliage can be used as a screen. A line of trees would screen our view of this cumbersome structure and decrease noise reaching our yard and the yard of our other concerned neighbors at 6 Paul Court. We have attempted to amicably settle this matter with the owner of 4 Paul Court, Keith Lomond, to no avail. On July 7, 2020, Mr. Lomond threatened to rebuild the structure even closer to our property if he was not granted a variance to keep the structure where it was constructed without a permit. In the 30 years that we have lived in this town, we have never objected to any project that any neighbor has wanted to do. We are just looking to protect our property and our rights as homeowners in Tappan. We ask that the board consider our objection to this project. Mr. Lomond built this structure without a permit in violation of town code and ignored the stop work order while constructing it. It is obtrusive and we feel that it is a threat to our property value. Attached below are photos of the construction of the unpermitted structure built by Mr. Lewman in violation of town code. Signed, Joseph and Casey Huber, 5 Carroll Lane, Tappan, New York. And there are a couple of pictures attached to that letter. And then I have a letter.
Email them to me, I can present them.
Pictures? Yeah, but there's no pictures.
The pictures are they're online. I know. I checked twice. They were loaded.
This game again.
Yeah, they were added on yesterday as backup.
The only picture I saw was one of trees in the backyard.
That was added today. Yeah.
That was only one picture I see, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any, Debbie.
I apologize. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere on that web. Anyway, there's 2 pictures taken from the neighbor's house, showing a fence and what they can see of the cabana from their property. I'm assuming it's from their house. They're probably online. They can explain it when they start talking, I guess.
Email the picture so we can see them.
Emailed it?
Email them to me and I'll put them up.
They were, okay. I think they were emailed to everybody already. All right, want me to do it now? I have 10 more letters to read. Want me to read the rest of the letters and then do that?
Sure.
Okay, let me finish the letters. The second letter is dated, it's an email, July 8th, 2020. To Orangetown Zoning Board. It has come to our attention that our neighbors, Meghan and Keith Lomond, are asking for a variance for a gazebo on their property at 4 Paul Court in Tappan. The Lomonds are quiet, respectful neighbors who have continuously improved their home and therefore the value of all of our homes. As their neighbors, we fully support this variance. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. Kelly and Sergio Cavalli, 15 Paul Court, Tappan. July 9th, 2020, my wife and I live at 9 Paul Court, around the corner from Keith and Meghan. We have no objections to the gazebo they have constructed. We do not see it from our backyard, and it is in no way detracts from the use of our property. John M. Smith and Katrina Smith, 9 Carroll Lane. I am writing to you in support of Meghan Keith Lomond on Paul Court in Tappan and their recent addition of a gazebo located in their backyard. In no way do my husband and I believe that the gazebo or any part of the Lomond property detracts from our neighborhood appearance or causes any obstruction of any kind. It is located in the confines of a well-manicured, fenced-in property. We believe that the value of our neighborhood and our home on Paul Court is greatly enhanced by the Lomond family home and property. We have had the pleasure of living on Paul Court for approximately 25 years and value the care taken by all of our neighbors as they strive to maintain and improve their homes and property. We are definitely not opposed to the gazebo on Lomond property. Patricia A. Shea, the 5 Paul Court. We would like to express support of our neighbors, Keith and Meghan Lomond. We are aware that they are building a gazebo in their backyard. The work has caused no problems for us. There is no noise issue, and I think it is great to see neighbors improving their property. It is beneficial to the neighborhood when homeowners take pride in their home by keeping it tidy and updated. Thank you, Joseph and Tatiana Crosby, 1 Paul Court. My name is Marissa Rogerio. My address is 16 Paul Court in Tappan. I'm writing this letter in regards to my neighbors, Keith and Meghan Lomond, who reside at 4 Paul Court. I'm aware that they are building a gazebo. I am not opposed to this in any way. They are extremely respectful and courteous neighbors. If you need to contact me further for information, she gives her phone number. She is signed by Stephen and Marissa Rogerio, 16 Paul Court. My name is Nicole Garnieri. My address is 3 Carroll Lane in Tappan. I'm writing this letter in regards to my neighbors who reside at 4 Port Court. My home directly backs up to their yard. I am aware that they are building a gazebo. I am not opposed to this in any way. They are extremely respectful and courteous neighbors. And she is at 3 Carroll Lane. And then I have one from, my name is Ned Bertulfo. I'm a retired New York State workers' compensation judge residing at 24 Pool Court since 1982. I'm writing to support the gazebo construction and whatever improvements they intend to do at their backyard, so long as it conforms to the town's regulations and protocols. As one of the original residents in the development, I've seen so many changes since new residents increased property and school taxes, diversity, and most of all, the desirable quality of life. In this regard, that I support quality improvements, especially in the midst of the coronavirus, since it not only encourages residents to stay home and creates employment, that thus adds to the quality of life in our town. Thanks for your time, Ned. And then I have a letter that was submitted by Meghan Lomond showing existing trees, a picture in her backyard. And I will just have to excuse me for I have to go over to scan these other pictures, and then I'll email it to all of you.
Do we have a layout where the gazebo is going? I'm not sure I have, and the paperwork I have, it doesn't show gazebo, it just shows the pool, which is existing.
Yeah. Let's get this read into the record first. Keith and Meghan Lomond, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. All right, Patricia.
ZBA 20-50, application of Keith and Meghan Lomond for variances from zoning code chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown code R15 district group M, section 5.153, primary structure distance from the house 15 feet required, 10 feet 4 inches proposed for a gazebo at an existing single family residence. The premises are located at 4 Pole Court, Tappan, New York, and are identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 7.11, block 2, lot 45 in the R15 zoning district. Do we have to wait for Debbie? Dan?
I'm back. I've been trying to email this to you. You
Yeah,
guys.
no.
All right, let me just turn this off.
I want to give you a chance to. Dan, do you not have another drawing? The grading plan, because it does have the gazebo on it. Go further. I think I just go the other way.
Sorry, slow down. Roof framing plan. This is the footing.
It was a separate, yeah, I don't know how it's scanned in. This might, no. Nope. I have another one.
I'm gonna check my packet.
There's pool grading plan on it.
I have that one. Where does it show the gazebo?
Look at the corner, the top right corner of the house. There's an arrow that says 10 feet 4 inches, and it points to a little rectangle.
Oh, it shows the footings of all 4 footings of the gazebo. That's what that shows.
Yeah.
Is that what it's showing? Those 4 blocks are the footings of the gazebo?
I actually see an arrow that looks like it's pointing to a rectangle, which I'm guessing is supposed to be the gazebo.
No, that's one of the supports for the gazebo. If you go up, there's 3 other supports. One's 18 feet from the back to the left side. I see that.
Yeah, I see it. 15 feet 4 inches from the right side. Yeah.
You should all have the email now.
Thank you, Debbie. Are you good to go, Debbie?
I'm good to go.
Okay, so could you please explain your project and how it ended up 10 feet 4 inches from the side of the house instead of 15?
Well, I originally had put footings in when I did the pool years ago, so I assumed I just put it there during the time. So I didn't know I didn't know the variances. I didn't know at the time I needed a permit to build a gazebo. After I got the stop work order, I had Dominic Miano, the builder, come over and he had looked at everything. And it was already built. So I wasn't threatening, but what I had said was if I do not get the variance, I have to move the whole gazebo 4 feet closer to the Hubert's property. That's the only option I have at this point, as you can see where it is. So instead of me having to move it, I was hoping I'd get a variance for the 4 feet. That was what I'm asking right now.
Okay, and did you continue to build on it?
No, it was built. It's a frame structure. Once it was stopped, Dominic came over and see the whole structure. It had a frame, a roof, and everything was already there. The back is still not sided. There's still no gutters on it. That's what you're looking at right now.
But this, how is this a gazebo? This is more, why is it considered a gazebo? Isn't a gazebo open? This is
Well,
a closed, it's a closed building.
No, it's open. That's only the back is closed. Everything else is open.
I'm sorry, is that what we're looking at? Are those windows in there?
No,
No.
no. That's the back.
What is
It's not sided. That was the fireplace I had asked for. That's just a chimney sitting there. So that's in the permit as well.
Well, how would you move it 4 feet closer to the property line if you're already trying to get a variance for where it is? I'm confused by what you stated.
What's that? How would I move it?
You said how you would have to move it 4 feet closer to the people next to you where you're trying to get a variance for where it is.
5
Today,
feet
you
there.
wouldn't be able to move it any
Yeah, no,
closer.
it's 18 feet from the property right now. So it's 18 feet from the property line behind me. So I'd have to move it 4 feet closer, which would be 14 feet from the property.
Right, his variance is for the distance from the house.
Yes. So it would be closer to the neighbors instead of closer to my house.
Right.
And I do have trees around the whole property line already.
How large is this gazebo? I see some numbers here, but I'm not really sure.
10 by 16. The footings are 9 by 14, I believe I have it written down here. 9 by 15 are the footings. And then
So if it were 10 by 10, you wouldn't need a variance. Is that right?
exactly. We'll find that after the fact, yes. Well, I wouldn't need a variance if I moved it in the structure of the property line. So it's allowed to be 5 feet off the rear and side yards and 15 feet off my house. So right now I am 18 feet from the rear and I'm 15.4 from the side, but I'm 10'6" off of my house. So the only way without needing a variance at all is to move the whole structure and just get a building permit.
What's it going to cost you to move it? Seems like
That's the thing. It's gonna be a little much, but I mean, if I have to do it, I have to. Do it.
Can you
That's why
put a
I'm
number
asking
on?
you.
Can you put a number on that?
It's gonna be thousands. It's gonna cost thousands to move.
Thanks.
Which might make us happy. It might not make your neighbor any happier.
Well, they're opposed to it being closer to their house, but that's the only direction I could go anyway. That's why I'm not confused by the appeal to it.
And you're not concerned about that gas line being so close to your house?
No, it's underground, so it should be okay.
Those are the trees that we see in the picture that your wife submitted?
Yes, and I just planted across the whole left side, 12-foot arborvitaes, green giants on the whole right side and the front just in case, because I didn't know, for more privacy. Yes,
Okay, so
exactly.
those are already planted.
The ones in the back are there, and the ones on the right and the front, I just planted all 12 footers, basically green grass across the whole back of the yard and side yard.
And how long have you been in this home?
7 years now.
I'm sorry?
12 years, since 2000.
How many are in the family?
3 kids, 2 teenage daughters and a 10-year-old son.
So the plantings you did, are they blocking that area going towards your neighbor's house there? I guess that's your neighbor's house that we see.
The lower picture is not the neighbor's house. The top picture, I believe, is. So, but there's planting along there as well now.
Dan, can you scroll that up?
This one?
That right there is my fence, as you see, and that's the tree. And the trees, I really can't plant any more trees there because obviously there's a big oak tree that's been there since the house was built. And then I put the arborvitaes are there on the right and the left.
Sorry.
Okay. I have no other questions, Dan.
Okay. So go to the public. Does anybody from the public wish to be heard on this? Please just state your first name.
Yeah, this is Joe Huber.
Okay, Joe, hold on. Anybody else?
My wife, Casey Huber.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Joe and Casey Huber, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I can tell you the picture you're looking at there. It's actually a picture that's shot from my yard looking into Keats. That's kind of the view that we have. The picture that you could, if you scroll down, that's another picture of what we see from our yard. Those black and whites may have, I think those are the pictures that were shot. Yeah, that's from my yard looking at the back of his gazebo and where his actual chimney is. So let me start by saying we've been here since 1994, and we have never objected to anything, and we would concur with all of the people that gave their testimonials that we think improvements to the neighborhood and to Ammann's house, a family, has a right and should try to improve to make themselves comfortable. In fact, that would be evidenced by no objection to the Lomond's built-in swimming pool when that went in. That actually caused us standing water, and it forced us to put a drain system in. We never mentioned that to the Lomond's. We never thought it was done maliciously. His pool was legal and permitted, and we thought, exactly as everyone else was saying in their testimonials, that he was doing what he thought was right by his family. The problem that we have now is that we're looking at, and with due respect to people from 16 Paul Court, they're not looking at Keats' structure from our vantage point. We're looking at it from our backyard, and we're listening to it. And at this point, we're afraid we're again in an adverse situation with regard to now the value of our home. We're at our age now is our kids are grown, and if we're looking to sell the house, downsize, we're worried that someone will come into our backyard and see the Lomond's Cabana and see it as what we see it as, kind of an eyesore, and that it's there to, it's going to cause noise. And really, I tried to approach Keith, and just suggest that he puts a couple more of those. He just put up two, like you said, he was right. He put up two giant arborvitaes, and if he could just put those in exactly the position those trees put in the spot where we're looking right now is really all we asked him for. We just said, if you could mute the sound a little bit and block the view for us, you know, we want him to have and enjoy his renovation.
And if he couldn't put them on because of the oak tree, we would suggest he put them on the back of the cabana. You know, I mean, I think there's other places he could put them just to block, just so that we don't have to see it.
Yeah, the space behind his cabana is not really used for anything. The front of the cabana and the inside of it is not where we're talking about putting trees. We're talking about putting trees between the cabana and our house. It doesn't have to be right on the fence line. We're just looking for a way to get some kind of screening. That's all.
I don't know. Sounds reasonable to me. Okay, I guess, does anybody else wish to be heard on that? Any further comments before we go back to the applicant?
I don't think so.
Any other public comments? Anybody else that hasn't been heard? Is there anybody else that hasn't been heard that would like to be heard? All right, I guess it's Patricia and Keith, I guess. So get, I guess, to the Lomonds. Does that, if we approved it with some type of stipulation that you put some plantings along there, what is there?
I'm just confused. It's fine, but that's not his backyard. That's my neighbor to the right.
Well, it seems you have 10 feet between.
No, that's the neighbor. That fence right there that you're looking at in the bottom picture is actually the neighbor. That's actually Pittsburgh.
Right, but your variance is asking for 10 feet, isn't it?
Not from that side, no. I'm saying, in other words, that's not his backyard.
Oh, from the house.
But we can see it from there.
That photo is shot from our
That's
yard.
shot from our yard. That's where the
That's
fences
what we look at.
cross. But that's my fence is where the picture was taken from. We weren't in the other neighbor's backyard. And we were in our yard.
Okay, I understand.
I mean, I guess I'll put trees right there, one little tree. I mean, that's all it's gonna fit there because there's an oak tree there. I'll put one little tree.
Yeah, okay, here's the problem that we have. He's when I suggested that he put trees in, he said he'd rip all those trees down if need be. I would just like to stipulate, and if he gives me his word in front of the town board, that's fine, but we just want screening between us and his cabana. That's all. I don't want there to be any other effect. I don't want a little tree that's going to be something done in a ceremonial fashion. I just would like to be able to sit in my yard and not have to see and hear the back of your cabana. That's all.
Okay, understandable. I'm sorry for the noise, but I have like 3 young kids and then the neighbor's kids, so I'm sorry for the noise.
Yeah,
That's not a problem.
I'm just looking for, you were able to put those trees in, to block the view from the curb line. I'm just looking for the same consideration to block the view from my sight line. That's all. I want you to enjoy your yard, but I think I'd like to enjoy mine as well.
No, I understand. I have no problem with that. I will put the trees in. It's no problem.
Can we stipulate a height on the trees?
If you look at what the big tree that's there, I can only fit maybe a 6 foot in there. I don't think it's going to be more than that. The other ones I put in are 12 footers, but I'd have to start cutting down the big oak tree.
Well, that's why I think if you couldn't you back it up towards the cabana?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on the fence
outside
line. It can be in space.
So there's so you're saying the 15 feet from my fence to the cabana, I'm gonna put trees all back there. Then I'd lose.
No, I think what they're saying, Mr. Lomond, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be on your property line, but it could be next to the cabana. I mean, if you had shrubbery or some type of.
That's where the that is back there. That's where the kids play. That's the gap between my 15 feet of the trees, the fence, and the cabana. So if I close all that out, if you look at this landscape, I wouldn't have any grass left. So I'm going to double, triple up on trees in my backyard.
Well, But it.
They're asking for some type of screening. It doesn't sound.
that's
irrational or
compromise.
unreasonable.
Right.
The space that you're talking about is dead space. It's behind your cabana.
It doesn't matter.
Opens on the
All
other
right,
side.
all right. Sorry, we typically don't allow dialogue. I know that
Sorry.
it's kind of a,
Sorry.
no.
Do you
Hold on. I'm speaking. All right. We typically don't have a dialogue because we don't want any heated arguments to take place, like what could stem to happen from this. So, Mr. and Mrs. Huber, thank you very much for your comments. Can we just please try to get through this with him? I mean, we heard what you had to say, and we're trying to kind of come to a resolution with that.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. So now, Mr. Lomond, based on what they said, if there were a stipulation that we asked you to put in some screening along this back corner of the northwest corner of your property,
Yes.
10 feet, 10 feet from either side of this post back here.
Yeah.
Whether it exists or it doesn't exist, or in the future it ceases to exist, if we say that 10 feet either direction of that post, you'll maintain screening
Yes.
to keep this gazebo.
Absolutely.
Okay. Patricia, does that sound reasonable?
Yes. I mean, I would like to point out
Sorry, I know.
that if we didn't approve this, he could actually move the gazebo closer to their property.
Right, and so the Hubers, just so you know, if there's a 10 by 10, you're allowed 2 10 by 10 accessory structures to your house. If it's 10 by 16, you have to basically come in for a building permit and a variance, which is really what he's at. If it were just 10 by 10, we wouldn't be having this discussion because it's really an accessory structure to his home. So we're trying to make the best of both worlds here. Okay. All right, there's no further questions, issues. Patricia, you good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? Dan, aye. Mike? Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Thank you. Denise, secret?
Okay, based upon the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application submission and in the record, this application is exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to secret regulations 617.5 C 11, 12, 16, and or 17. If you have no questions or comments, you can adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor? Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Patricia?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Okay, Patricia, you're up.
I make a motion that we approve the variance requested by Keith and Meghan Lamont for 10 feet 4 inches distance between the gazebo and the house and the primary house as the structure. And the request is not substantial. It doesn't really does not bring an undesirable change to the neighborhood, nor will it have an adverse effect on the environment. And the applicant has agreed to put screening in between between the gazebo and his neighbor's property, and to maintain that screening.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor? Patricia?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, Dan, aye. Rob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lamont. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And then make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Second by Patricia. All in favor? Dan, aye. Patricia?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
All right.